This is the Astros Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Houston Astros, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Now, the road trip did not start anywhere near where the Astros needed it to start, as they got swept last weekend in Boston. They went down to Miami. They took 2 out of 3. Then they had to go to New York, and they had to take at least 2 out of 3 there. And they did exactly that and finished it off in style today over the New York Yankees by blowing it out late and getting an easy victory over, of course, one of their most hated rivals. Hello and welcome this afternoon to the Locked On Astros Postcast. I'm your host, Michael Connor. Thank you for stopping by and watching us if you are live. If not, of course, we appreciate you watching whenever, listening whenever, wherever you get your podcast. Go and search for Locked On Astros. Today's episode of the Locked On Astros Postcast is brought to you by FanDuel. Football season is around the corner. Visit FanDuel. Visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your futures bets now. All right, we got a lot of things to get into today, but what's the number one thing that you're talking about from this victory?
This is what you'll be talking about.
How about the fact that the Astros, in multiple occasions today, got clutch when they needed to get clutch? And I love when a baseball game goes out there and you take care of your business and you do it by adding on late. You know, putting the pressure on them. You know, the Yankees put a little bit of pressure on the Astros there in the 7th inning, where they got into a situation where they're up 4-0, and it looked like, hey, they've got an opportunity to get back into this baseball game here, because Bennett Sousa came out and did not have his best stuff today. Brian Abreu comes in and absolutely saves the day, and then the Astros reward that saving the day in the 9th inning by going out there and putting up 3, and then also doing something huge, which is saving Josh Hader from having to throw after throwing a ton of pitches a couple of nights ago. Now, he does warm up, does have to get hot. You have to count those things, but you would assume he is available tomorrow night when they get back home and take on the Boston Red Sox, because that is a big series against a team that has played very well and just beat your butts last weekend up there in Fenway. So it was a huge, huge win, not only from the standpoint of, well, the Mariners are only a half game out in the American League West now, which, by the way, as we are doing this show live, the Mariners are off to a hot start. They're already up 2-0 over the Red Sox in the bottom of the first, or the Rays, in the bottom of the first inning. Looks like they're probably going to be on their way. I know there's a lot of baseball left there, but probably on their way to another victory today, and only being a half game. I think it's going to be win number 7 in a row for Seattle. If they pull that one off, yes, it'd be win number 7 in a row for the Mariners, and they'll stay a half game back at the Astros. The only thing that the Astros can do is take care of their business. It's the most cliche thing to say, but the only thing that they can do is take care of their business. Now, they did not do that for a minute. We know that. A lot of that is in part due to the fact that they were so incredibly injured. But I will say, for a road trip that started out poorly, of course, and it was right after the trade deadline. So it started off with your new guys, and it did not start great. I feel a lot better, though, after the final 6 games of it, because they go 4-2 over the final 6 after going 0-3 in the first 3. You know, they started to play a lot better baseball. Defensively, they clicked a lot throughout it. Offensively, they had a lot of moments. And then they go to a place where they've played very well in their history now. And it's like they get there and they get booed and they play better baseball. I know that they lost yesterday. We didn't end up doing a show. Sorry about that. We just, scheduling-wise for me, did not work out to do that and Texans yesterday. So I was on Texans duty yesterday instead. But today, you know, again, good at bats. And against a pitcher that I know that Max Fried has not been as strong for the Yankees as he was early in the season. He's really kind of scuffled in recent starts. But that's a guy that was, you know, and still is one of the better pitchers in all of the American League. And they really, I thought, had good quality at bats against him. They had a lot of loud contact today. You know, as I always love to tell you, when you have loud contact, when you hit the baseball hard, eventually you're going to get results out of it. And they got a lot of those results out of it today. Carlos Correa's big mash at the end of the game. Well, actually, we'll talk about him a little bit in just a few minutes. Jose Altuve, though, I mean, the lifeblood of this baseball team overall. And it's just there. I said it Friday night when he did it Friday night in that game. hitting the home run in the first inning. He does it again today. There is just nothing better than listening to those fans boo him and then watching him sock one out of the ballpark, which, by the way, career home run number 250 for Jose Altuve today and 15th in the regular season in his career against the New York Yankees, which I believe is the most against any team that's not an AL West team. What a shock. But there is just something so sweet about watching that man go up there. And then as soon as that ball goes over the fence, and they start panning to people in the stands. I think today they immediately panned to Aaron Boone, and you just see that look on his face. It's just like, you got to be freaking kidding me with this guy. And he's a Yankees killer. You absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. And they have to just keep booing all the way back home. And I love it from the standpoint of a Sunday afternoon, too. You know, you go out there and you do those things like in that ballpark. That ballpark starts to empty out very, very quickly. It just warms your soul. It really does. It's the comfort food for Astros fans. And I'm never going to get tired of it. Keep doing you, Yankees. They're a sloppy baseball team. I see why they fell apart, man. They play some really sloppy baseball. They are not good defensively. They are still the same kind of team they've always been that lacks discipline at the plate. They're not a bad team by any means. I shouldn't say it's amazing they made it to the World Series last year. They were a good team last year again. I mean, they had Juan Soto, so they made them better. But even then, they took advantage of a year where American League wasn't very good, and that's how they got there. And it is what it is. That's their thing. They got there. Congratulations to them. They didn't win, of course. The Astros are looking to get back there. You can't completely, feel too confident. You can't get too cocky, I should say, because the Astros will see this team again in the beginning of September. And this is still a potential team that you'll see in the postseason as well. So, but it's good to have good results against them now and hopefully, able to do that again when you do see them again. But all that in a roundabout way, Jose Altuve today was absolutely tremendous at the plate. Christian Walker, tremendous at the plate, 3 for 4, hitting the baseball hard. Of course, his luck, smashes one out there to right center field, and it just hits literally the top of the wall and goes back in. But he had a really overall strong road trip. I know that, he kind of is the guy. Every year there's a guy that kind of gets, the brunt of the reaction when it comes to bad stuff constantly happening. And it happens more often than not because that player is not performing. And he's been that guy this year. We know the expectations that we all had for him coming in. But look, since I think the 1st of July he's played a lot better baseball overall. Maybe it's not as consistent as I would love to see, but that was a good series for him overall. It's a good road trip for him overall. He hit the ball over the fence 3 times on the road trip, I believe, was the total. And it was part of the Astros win today. If they can get that out of him more often and, clutch situation. I think that's the biggest thing is that he seems to always come up when there's clutch situations typically and doesn't perform. And today performed. Good for him going out there and doing that. Good to see Cam Smith have driving a couple of runs with the double. That was big for him. Of course, he's been scuffling. Any kind of result is going to help at some point. Got a couple of knocks out of Dubon down there. Chas McCormick had a big double there, of course, as well. So many guys throughout this lineup. And then Correa, like I mentioned, 2 for 5. Hits that home run there in the 9th inning, an absolute moonshot. And we're watching it. And this guy is finding it at the plate. It was not his best season at the plate with the Minnesota Twins. He'd been playing better baseball, but getting better results before the trade. And since he's come back to the Astros now, he is just absolutely scorched earth hot. Through his first 9 games back with the club, 405, 2 home runs, 6 runs batted in, on base 476 because he's walked 4 times, 622 slug, OPS over 1,000, almost 1,100 in those 9 games. Also has a couple of doubles in his 15 hits, so 4 of his 15 hits going for extra bases. And I see a confident player at the plate, and I see a guy first of all, he's rejuvenated. He's back where he never wanted to leave. We know that. He never wanted to leave the Astros. And everything just kind of clicking together. and he's playing a good solid third base. Hopefully that, helps him keep his body in shape more often and not getting his beat up playing shortstop with everything that you got to do over there. Very, 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 very happy to have him back. And as a side note, we will have a postcast show tomorrow, but just a note for you. It's going to be a little bit late after the game. It'll probably be about an hour after the game tomorrow night because I am going to go as a fan tomorrow night. I have not gone as a fan this season. Heck, I've only gone since I got off the radio. I've only been to one game in the last 2 years. I've just been doing them at home because we do the postcast shows every night. But tomorrow night, me and a buddy who's actually from Boston, Rory, if you're out there watching, shout out. We will be going to the game tomorrow night, and I'm going to go take in and share with you guys the return of our king, Carlos Correa. It's going to be a great atmosphere. Cannot wait to see the ovation that he gets back at the ballpark tomorrow night. Let's talk about Jason Alexander stepping up big today. Let's also talk about the series coming up against the Red Sox, how vital that is. That's next year on the Locked On Astros Postcast. First up, though, I want to tell you about getting your fit right. In today's episode, well, it's brought to you by Gameday Hue. And, of course, they've got awesome hats, awesome gear for you. Gameday Hue makes clean, no-logo gear with team-inspired colorways for every pro and college fan base. It's all about letting your colors speak for you. No giant logos, just smart, versatile style that works on game day, on the course, or anywhere in between. Looking forward to getting my hands on my gear here soon. And I've got some Astros colored hat coming in, and I've got a Texans colored golf glove. I'm a big golfer, so I'm really excited about the glove too. Right now, you can get 15% off with code MLB15 at GameDayHue.com. That's GameDayHue.com. Code even stacks on bundle deals. So now's the time to load up, let your colors talk, because colors speak louder than words. That's GameDayHue.com, code MLB15. And one more message before we get back to our discussion on the Astros win today. August 26th is officially FanDuel Futures Day, a brand new holiday for football fans who live for bold predictions and preseason hunches. For just 24 hours, FanDuel is giving you deals on NFL season predictions. So whether you're calling your MVP, eyeing a long shot division winner, or are ready to crown your Super Bowl champ before week one even kicks off, this is your moment. For me, I'm going to go to the MVP race. Right now, my pick on August the 10th, I'm going to be a chalk guy and just take Patrick Mahomes. He's also a Red Raider. But I hope it's C.J. Stroud of the Texans. Visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your futures bet now because Futures Day is one day and one day only. FanDuel, play your game. The Astros played their game today, and they were tremendous. They got a victory over the New York Yankees, doing so in big fashion, 7-1. And somebody that really stepped up once again for the Astros today was Mr. Jason Alexander. Huge performance out of him. The Astros are in this spot. We've talked about it. They did not get a starter at the deadline. They wanted one. The prices were insanely high. Just did not feel comfortable with it. They're getting closer to getting Christian Javier back. They've, of course, got Arrighetti back on this road trip. He did not look unbelievable. They're getting Luis Garcia back here soon. I'm not going to count on anything out of Lance McCullers. We'll just have to see that to believe it. But they still need somebody to step up and pitch well in this period of time where they're waiting on those things. And Alexander got another chance to start today. And that's 2 consecutive starts for him. And both of them coming on that road trip where he was tremendous. That game in Miami on the 4th, of course, 6 shutout with 6 strikeouts today. 6 shutout with 3 strikeouts and allowed just 1 hit. Did walk 3 today, but this guy's making a bid to not only he's probably we'll see. We'll see how they utilize him moving forward. But 2 consecutive good starts. Next time through the rotation, he's got to make another start. Simple as that. He's not a big hard thrower. He's a location guy. Got to get that sinker. Got to get that changeup down. But he's got a really good changeup, really good arm action. Hides the baseball well from the hitters. Tough for them to pick up. And you see the result of that. And that was another tremendous outing out of him today. And this team, that's the calling card of the Astros throughout the years is when things are tough and when they're down guys, It's all about the unheralded guys coming in and doing something, and Jason Alexander, exactly that for this team. And he also, of course, happens to have a great name that, goes along with George Costanza. So, shout out to Jason Alexander. And speaking of him,
this is the Locked On Player of the Game.
We're going to do a co-MVP or co-player of the game today because I can't let the series leave New York. And it's a player of the game. The Astros have had a couple of thorns in the side. They've been a thorn in the side of the Yankees for almost 10 years. Or really, I shouldn't even say almost. For 10 years now. It's been 10 years of basically being their daddy. It's been wonderful. The biggest pieces of that, Correa and Altuve. And both of those guys homer today. So they are part of the equation here of player of the game. And then the man that I mentioned, Jason Alexander, pitching his backside off, shutting them down all day today. So those three guys, because I can do that as the man that hands out the award, I don't have to give it to just one. I'm giving it to three of them today as the players of the game. Now they got Boston coming to town over the next 3 days. And they finally get back home too, by the way, which they need to play some good ball at home. This homestand, by the way, is going to feature Boston for 3, off day on Thursday, then 3 against the Baltimore Orioles over the weekend. The series against Boston will be difficult. They're going to face Crochet tomorrow night. He'll be hard to face. He's been one of the best in baseball. Dustin May is supposed to go Tuesday, then Buehler on Wednesday. They got to get a little bit of revenge on him. But the Astros need to take 2 out of 3 here. Here's the other thing that you got to weigh now. You're going for of course, you want to win the American League West. But there is also the possibility that you're going to be a wild card team. Beating teams like Boston matters for that as well. So this is a huge series. You got to get. I'm sorry, I sniped myself out of my own show. You got to get at least 2 out of 3 in that Boston. I got this new mouse. It's got buttons on the side, which it's literally the first day I've used it, and it takes you back and forth, on the pages that you've been on. I accidentally clicked the back one, and it sent me back a page, so it kicked me out the show. Again, apologies. You got to take 2 out of 3 though against Boston. Again, tomorrow night, scheduling notice, we will do a postcast, but it is going to be later. I live 30 minutes from the ballpark without any traffic issues. So just bear with me. When I get home from the game tomorrow night, we will do the show and we'll talk about what we see out there on the field. So join me late night tomorrow night after Astros and Red Sox. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Sunday. Take it in, relax, enjoy the victory, enjoy the series win over the Yankees, and we'll talk late tomorrow night after Astros and Red Sox.